think that's where the Steelers are right now, where the loyalty in the organization, stemming from the top, stemming with the Rooneys and trickling down to Coach Tomlin, is there's a loyalty to your guys. It's a loyalty to Matt Canada, the offensive coordinator. There's a loyalty to Kenny Pickett, the quarterback, who played at Pitt. There's a loyalty to the players. And listen, there's certain players you should be loyal to. TJ Watt, you should be loyal to. He's one of the best football players on earth. You should be loyal to Cam Hayward. He's been awesome for a decade. You should be loyal, at least more loyal, to George Pickens. You know, there's players in this. Minka Fitzpatrick. There's people you should be loyal to in that franchise. But more than the players, and I've always been a pro player guy, you know what the Steelers need to be loyal to? Winning. That's simple. Winning by any means necessary. You know, Kevin Durant was loyal. He was loyal for 9 years to Oklahoma City. He had to be, people got on, oh, how could you not be loyal to Russell Westbrook and loyal to Billy Donovan, loyal to the Thunder and their fans? Katie said, yeah, and I'll never get a championship here. Let me go to Golden State. Well-run franchise, great players, an organization will all fit beautifully. Kevin Durant was loyal to winning. He now has 2 championships and 2 finals MVPs to show for it. The Los Angeles Rams were loyal to winning. Jared Goff, by the way, Jared Goff's balling right now. Had a big-time come-from-behind win yesterday. Jared Goff got the Rams to the playoffs 3 out of 4 years. That's not hard. That's not an easy thing to do. 3 out of 4 years, got the Rams to the playoffs. For the record, his last year in LA with a broken thumb, won a playoff game in Seattle. And you know what the Los Angeles Rams said? Nah, not good enough. Let's go get Matthew Stafford. They have a Lombardi trophy to show for it. The Kansas City Chiefs. Alex Smith got in the playoffs in 2013, 2015, 2016, 2017, and the Chiefs said, not good enough. Alex Smith, his last year, think about this, y'all. Alex Smith's last year as the Chiefs starting quarterback, he made the Pro Bowl. He led the Chiefs to the playoffs. They said, no, not good enough. Let's go take this kid out of Texas Tech. They have 2 Lombardis to show for it. Loyalty is not a bad thing by any stretch of the imagination, but what are you loyal to? Is Mike Tomlin loyal to winning? Or is he loyal to, God, I can't have this losing season. I've never had a losing season since I've been here. I'm the only coach in the NFL history that's coached as long as I have and never had a losing season. We got to get to 9 wins, got to get to 10 wins, got to just get barely a head above water and sneak in the playoffs, get that winning record. And what scares me as a Steelers fan is I think that's exactly what's going to happen. I think the Steelers are going to end up winning 10 games, maybe 9, probably 10. If you look at their schedule, still got Arizona. You got Cincinnati twice without Burrow. You got the Colts, got the Patriots. A lot of winnable games there, okay? They're going to get 10 wins. They're going to sneak in the playoffs as the 6 or 7 seed and get mollywopped by, pick your team, Jacksonville, Miami, Baltimore, whoever. And they'll be right back to square one. Yes, fellow Steelers fans, of course I know Matt Canada is a problem. He's not the problem. He's a problem. The Steelers should move on from him. I've been crystal clear about that, as any other Steelers fan has been from the beginning of the season. He's incompetent. He doesn't know what he's doing. His concepts are as uncreative and easy to game plan for as there are in the NFL. Go to any smart football person that can break down film, because Dan Orlovsky's done it. A lot of people have done it. They'll break it down and show you it's not that hard of an offense to game plan for. There's like 7 plays they kind of rely on. So we know Matt Canada is incompetent. That doesn't surprise any of us. I'm starting to sell my stock on Kenny Pickett. And not in the sense of I think Kenny Pickett can be a good starter in the NFL, because I do. I think Kenny Pickett could be a good starter in the NFL. But if the Steelers organization's expectations and aspirations are to win Super Bowls, they do, after all, have the most, tied with the Patriots at 6. If that's the expectation, and as Mike Tomlin says, the standard is the standard, is Kenny Pickett going to be the guy in that conference to get you there? Against Mahomes, a healthy Burrow, Trevor Lawrence, Tua, that's the guy to get you there? Because I'm not going to lie to y'all, have my doubts. I've seen Kenny in the fourth quarter. I nicknamed him fourth quarter Kenny. I mean, a few weeks ago, I remember checking, I'm like, doggone, Kenny Pickett has a 100 pass rating in the fourth quarter. He just needs to clean up in the 3 quarters. maybe part of the reason the Steelers' offense is struggling, yes, is because Canada is uncreative. But I'll go and show you the tape right here. This is for those watching on YouTube and Twitter, so I'll try and narrate the best I can for the audio audience. But this is Kenny Pickett, okay? These are all of his throws yesterday when throwing beyond the stick, so beyond the first down marker, okay? Here they are. It's 40 seconds worth. Here's the first one. Not even close to George Pickens. Here's the second one. Rolling out to his right. There's really nothing there, so you kind of, although he did have, I think it was Johnson down there. Here's another throw. He's got time, good protection. Not even close. Not on the same page as the receiver. Here we go. Here's another play. Kenny had George Pickens. Bad throw. Okay, here's a punt here. Here's Kenny Pickett. Once again, rolling out to his right. Good protection. Good throw, actually. Solid catch by Pickens. Here's the fourth quarter. Kenny. Where's that ball going to? There's not a Steelers receiver in sight. And then the final one. This was his last throw of the afternoon in Cleveland. Has a man. Missed him. At some point, you got to make throws. And I always say the Bill Parcells rule of coaching or developing quarterbacks. I recite this all the time when we talk about young guys struggling or kind of having their ups and downs is year one, man, it's developmental year. Okay, like it takes time. You got to build it. And it's hard. NFL's hard. Processing defenses is hard. What CJ Stroud is doing right now, that's not normal. What Dak did in 2016, what Ben did in 2004, that's not normal. What Luck did in 2012, like that's not the norm. We can't expect that out of young franchise or young, star quarterbacks or potential star quarterbacks. But year two, as Parcells once said, you need to kind of start seeing something. You need to see a jump from year one. I don't see it. And I don't think Steelers fans see it either. And if by year three, as Parcells often would say, if by year three you don't know if he's the guy or not, cut bait. He's not the guy. You need to move on. I saw the stat today and it almost made me throw up in my mouth. And this kind of goes back to the Mike Tomlin and the Steelers refuse to adjust to modern offensive football. Okay, how about this, y'all? Tommy DeVito. We've become accustomed to that name lately. He's now the quarterback of the Giants. Tommy DeVito has more career games with multiple touchdown passes than Kenny Pickett. Tommy DeVito. He's the Giants' third stringer. They wouldn't let him throw a pass beyond the line of scrimmage just 3 weeks ago. And all of a sudden, 4 weeks ago, he has more games with multiple touchdown passes than Kenny Pickett. He's played 4 games. Still, Kenny has started virtually a whole season. He's not the answer. And the fact of the matter is, if you look at this upcoming quarterback draft, loaded with guys more talented than Kenny Pickett. We know how great Caleb Williams is. We know how Drake May's kind of slid off, but I still think May can be a really good player. The same could be said, I love Penix at Washington. You saw what he did in a rainstorm yesterday. Penix is excellent. Bo Nix is balling out at Oregon. I still like the kid, Riley Leonard at Duke. Jordan Travis suffered a season-ending injury, which sucks for Florida State. So I'm not sure what that's going to do to his draft status. There's a lot. This is about as loaded a quarterback draft as we've had in a while. There might be somebody who falls to you. There might be somebody available, and there's like a string of, this happens every draft, where there's like 3 or 4 teams that really don't need a quarterback, but one team that does, and so they jump ahead of a team that also needs a quarterback and take the guy. If such an opportunity becomes available in late April, whenever the draft is, that Thursday night when the first round is, Steelers need to take that swing. Aggressive wins in sports. Adapting to the modern day, whatever the case may be in any industry. If somebody, I've used this analogy before, if somebody wasn't good at using computers 30 years ago and they were going in for a job interview, it's not gonna do you in. If you don't know how to use computers now in 2023, a little bit of a problem. This is a digital age now. You gotta adapt, gotta adjust, got to get better at what you need to get better at. That's where the Steelers are at today. And it's I'm telling y'all, they're going to make the playoffs as the 6 or 7 seed, get bounced probably in a blowout fashion because they can't score to save their lives. You know what bothers me about Pittsburgh is, and I've said this before, like they think you can win playing 2003 football rather than, you say, well, Bryson, they're 6-4. They've gotten outgained in every game. Every game. They're the worst 6-4 team arguably in NFL history. And I say that as a Steelers fan. 2003, You could win a game. A game. That's selling it short. You could go to the Super Bowl with Rex Grossman and guys like who else? Rich Gannon, Kerry Collins. You could get to a Super Bowl with those guys if you had a good defense and a good running game. Heck, you could win the Super Bowl with guys like Brad Johnson, Trent Dilfer, Nick Foles, if you had a running game and a defense. Now you need Patrick Mahomes. You need Joe Burrow. You need Josh Allen and Trevor Lawrence and Dak Prescott and Jalen Hurts and Justin Herbert, Lamar Jackson. You can't win a Super Bowl with Kenny Pickett. If you think you can through the running game and the defense, you are behind the times. What is the standard in Pittsburgh? It's the same question I asked when they lost to Jacksonville. What is Mike Tomlin? The standard is the standard. And I am, to be abundantly clear, I am by no means calling for Mike Tomlin's job. Any Steelers fan that is calling this saying, I need to fire Mike Tomlin, they're insane. They are insane. But Mike does need to adjust. You can't win with running. You can't win a Super Bowl with running game and defense. Because the Steelers are a smart franchise. All right, this right here is part of the reason I picked the Steelers as my team this summer. Does any organization draft better than Pittsburgh? They draft receivers, they draft corners, they draft historically at least offensive linemen, they draft running backs, they draft quarterbacks in the past. Terry Bradshaw, Big Ben. They draft great again pass rushers and linebackers and DBs. Heck, the kicker's good. Picking talent is not the Steelers' problem. That's the problem in New England. Belichick can't coach the talent he's got because he can't pick good talent when he can't see good talent if it's right in front of his face. That's not Mike Tomlin's problem. He's a great coach. He's a great motivator. Again, I'm about to get into Brandon Staley in just a second. He's a defensive coach. Defense is great. Gave up 13 points. Did all they could. Got a turnover in the game on the opposite side of the field. Doing all he could. His side of the ball is great. Adapt, adjust, improve with the times. Mike Tomlin's not doing that, and it's costing the Steelers. Thanks so much for watching the show on YouTube, and be sure to go click that big red subscribe button and check out the other clips and full shows from Carving It Up Live, as well as our other incredible content creators here on the Grid Network.